Hey, everybody. Welcome to 2024. It's John Corelli, your average guy with your average guy opinions. I'm bringing it back. I did these opinions every day of 2021, and then the last 2 years, 2022 and 2023. For those of you that aren't good at math, excuse my disrespect. I haven't done very many, maybe 10, 20 a year, just when the whim hits me. But yeah, I thought I'd do it again. I think it helps me, and this is the worst cliche, but I think it helps me keep my creative juices flowing, which is a terrible thing to say, but it is. It does kind of help, I think, when you talk things out and try to get better at just being decent at impromptu speaking. I usually have a theme or something I want to talk about, but it does help that this is totally unscripted. As you can hear, you're going to hear a lot of ums. That's what I do. I'm coming to accept that about my speaking style, whether it's comedy or just talking to people. But that's the way. Those are my commas. Those are how I pause. And I am sorry. Okay, so here it is. I hope you all had a good 2023. Mine was fine. I definitely had a lot of stuff happen. I will talk about that. I will talk about my hopes for 2024 in the next 8.5 minutes. I usually have these videos, for those of you that are familiar with Average Guy Opinions, they usually last around 10 minutes. That's my goal, 10, maybe 11 minutes. And hopefully you can enjoy them. One big thing you probably can't notice from my face, but it is a little smaller or less fattened than it was a few years ago. I dropped about 25 pounds over the last 6, 7 months. I went into the doctor on June 8th. I weighed 217, and I'm usually floating around 210 to 220 pretty much for the last 20 years. I bottomed out at 194 about 10 years ago, and a couple years before that I topped out at 230. And that's my best and worst. And so the last 10 years have been a struggle just to keep it around 200 to 210, and I got serious about it. And so now I'm at 192, which isn't a lot below 200, but from 217 it's a far cry. So in 7 months I lost 25 pounds. Very psyched because I've taken the 2 weeks off of school. I'm in a new school. I'll explain that in a second. I still work with special needs kids, but I go back to school in 2 days, and I've had 2 weeks off, and I've gained 2 pounds, and that's a big deal. Usually, 2 weeks off, it's a guaranteed 5 pounds I'm going to gain. So I've taken it very seriously. I eat way better. I exercise very, very regularly. I'm really pretty excellent and good at that. I don't know how many adjectives I can add, but I am. I'm really psyched about this. I'm on this journey, I'll call it, which is another lame cliche for where I'm headed with the weight loss. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping to drop another 20 by the end of April. Get my beach bod ready, because that's what women want, right? Is a 56-year-old with a beach bod. I don't think I'm gonna have a beach bod, but I think if I can get it down to 175 thereabouts, I mean, I know I'm going to look better. I'm already feeling tons better, having dropped the first 25, and if I drop another 15 to 20, I'm really going to be in a good place health wise. I think I've been lucky enough in this life to avoid most of the health pitfalls that can befall people: drugs, alcohol, whatever. But eating was a big one for me, and so yeah, that's where I got to. But now I'm in a much better place. So that's a big deal for me. I had taken about 3 years off of sex, not voluntarily. So it was an unusual year. I had sex with four different women, and I'm not advocating that, but I'm not ashamed of it either. They were all four were based on, at least friendly relationships. None of them worked out as relationships. A couple are still on the fire, to be honest, and they may turn into something, they may not. I have maintained friendships with three out of the four women, and that's great. But yeah, that was kind of an unusual year, and it wasn't like it was a lot of sex. I mean, it was about probably 20 sessions of sex between four women, so they were very brief relationships. But you know what? I like to think we had fun. I know I did. They claim to have, because I am actually a guy that asks and cares about that shit. So there's something that happened. So yeah, weight loss, uh, resuming sexual activity are two big things that happened in my life. I got a new job. I still work with special needs kids, as many of you know. That has been my thing for the last 9 years now. Uh, Working with in my career starting in 2015, so actually, yeah, close to 9 years. In March it'll be 9 years. Um, Started in elementary school, did about 5.5 years there. Went to the high school where my child also went. Um, that was for about another 3 years, and then back in May I quit there because my child Logan, who, and I'm going to refer to Logan as my child. I've talked about Logan in the past in some videos. Logan is transgender. Logan has gone from male to female. Uh, been on hormones about a year and a half, and will eventually get sexual reassignment surgery, and I'm fully supportive of that. Lives with me. We'll start school in a week, so it's a lot of things going on. But back to so now I'm at a new school. It's called Sebeski Academy in Wheat Ridge. I live 5 minutes away. I live with my parents still. I pay rent. I'm in the bottom. It's like a duplex situation. I'm still a single dad with Dante, who has pretty severe autism. I guess average autism, but will probably not be independent. He lives right behind me in the room right behind me. Logan lives in the room next to me, and Logan's welcome to stay here as long as she needs to. She's 19. Like I said, we'll start school in a week and is on a fast track to hopefully get a bachelor's degree in 3 years, which is great. My goal is to pay my share of that and for Logan to not have any student loans when she graduates. Got a lot going there. New school I was at. Sorry, I'm jumping all over, but there's a lot did go on in 2023. It's called Sebeski Academy. It's a at-risk school for at-risk kids. These kids were kind of our last ditch effort. If they don't work out with us, they're going to go to a school that's almost like a prison, and ours is very close to that, to be honest. All the doors lock except on the bathrooms, which is kind of ironic when you think about it. But yeah, these kids generally need to be escorted. If they're not in class, we have security there. Cops show up several times a week for when kids get out of control. Um, but I'm in the special needs part of that, so my part is more mellowed out. I call it's the ASD room, Autism Spectral Disorder room, and I call that ASD Island, as I often have, because we have the 9 years in my experience, we are on our own island. A lot of people don't get us. A lot of people don't want to get us. A lot of people don't want us there. Some people are that old school, like these kids don't belong in this school. They don't belong in a typical environment. It's kind of crazy. Even some of the kids within the class, like we have some kids that are that act way more typical and understand things on a level that the more severe needs kids don't. And even them, like, this kid doesn't belong to the school, and I gotta say, yeah, he does, as much as you do. You gotta tell these kids things in a language they don't understand. But that's me going on a tangent. But that was a big thing that happened in my life. I started there back in August. Like it there. There's a lot of different things I'm not used to. They ask a lot out of the paraprofessionals, of which I am one. I get paid anywhere from $5 to $10 an hour less than what are called RBTs, Registered Behavioral Technicians, who have done a 1 week course and do have experience, but don't have my experience. And so I have joined a union, Jeffco. It's called JESPA. Forgot what it stands for. It was Jefferson Special Para Educators Association. Something. It's a union. And when I worked in Cherry Creek, as of last May, we didn't have a union for paras. So it was frustrating that we get paid less than bus drivers, for example, or like I said, in this case, way less than RBTs, which isn't right. So I'm kind of battling that. That can be an issue sometimes at work when I'm doing at least as good of a job as the people around me and knowing they're getting $70 a day more than me before taxes, probably 50 when it's said and done. That adds up over the course of a month. That's at least $1,000 a month more than they're making than me. It can be quite frustrating. So what's coming up? We got a minute. So on the 14th, I'm doing something called a Deadpool party. I will probably do an entire Average Guy opinion about that and how sick and twisted and fun that is. I will talk about a lot of stuff, guys, and I'm going to talk about art I'm trying to do. I may drop out of comedy. I had some success and failure with comedy the last year. I'll probably dedicate a video all to that, about my year in comedy and how interesting and often painful it was to think you're getting good at it and realize maybe you're not. So it's been a good year. It's been sometimes a rough year, but I'm alive at the end of it. And at the end, and I weigh way less than I did at the beginning of it. So I'm happy about that. I get to talk to you guys. So there you go. I'm closing in on 10 minutes. I don't know what my next segment will bring, but it will bring something. I'm going to try to do it every day like I did in 2021. So I hope you all had a great New Year's Eve. I hope you have a wonderful 2024. I hope your 2023 was wonderful too. And I'll get back to you tomorrow and try to keep that going. All right. Have a great night. Bye.